All right. Hello, all you sports fans out there in podcast land, and welcome once again to another edition of Babbling Brooks, your new favorite podcast, where I, your host Brooks, try to bring you some of today's sports news with just a little twist of my point of view. Hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. Sorry I've been off for a few days. Saturday was a combination of laziness, and all I had to talk about was the Braves losing game one of the Arizona Diamondbacks series. So it wasn't like a whole lot. It was a very uneventful game. There was, the NBA Finals more spread out now where there's 2 days between every game. So Saturday, I'll be honest, I just didn't feel like it. Sunday and Monday, I worked doing day shift. So I'm so used to doing these like on either our days I'm off or my main job, I work nights, so I have till 6 o'clock before I even have to leave the house. So I can kind of get some stuff in, easier to do. Usually I'll try to get started sometime in the morning, but it's usually about noon when I'm starting today. I'm actually going to do 2 episodes today. First off, the one you are tuned into right now, you're going to get a wrap-up of the Braves' recent series win out west in the desert of Arizona, as we visited the Diamondbacks, and then had the day off, and the Braves will start a pivotal homestand. Very important, especially this first series. 3 games against the Mets, and then 3 games against the Washington Expos, a.k.a. Nationals. But first off, let's talk about this. And like I said, the second episode I will be doing today will be a wrap-up talking about Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Which of course happened on Sunday, but since I didn't do my episode yesterday, I'm going to talk about it today. Just don't want to cram it in with the tail end of this Braves stuff, especially since instead of doing 1 game, since I skipped a couple days, we're going to do the whole series all in one. So let's get started. Didn't start so well for the Bravos. Game number 1, losing that game 3-2. The only offense for this game, pretty much there was a couple of scattered hits. For the most part, Eddie Rosario's 2 solo shots, only thing getting us on the board. Another one of those, not a bad outing for Charlie Morton necessarily, but needed a stronger start. Started out a little bit rough, and then he kind of evened out a little bit and had 4 really strong innings. But the damage was already done, and just like last time, not getting any run support. The good news, though, for Charlie is he got up to 9 strikeouts in this one. Good to see, especially compared to only 2 walks. 3 runs on 6 hits, but he did make it to 7 innings pitched, which is the first time he's done that since April 25th, that he's got 7 full innings in. So good for him. I think that's a good sign of what's to come with Charlie Morton. We're going to need him. It's a very volatile time for Atlanta's pitching rotation. More on that in a minute. First off, game number 1, like I said, we left 6 on base in this one, and we just couldn't get nobody on base was the issue. I couldn't get nobody in scoring position. 0 of 3 runners in scoring position, so not giving yourself very many opportunities in this one. Great job pitching for the Diamondbacks in this one. It was a Merrill Kelly had 7 strong innings, and like I said, other than Eddie Rosario's home runs, everything was just kind of scattered around. Excuse me. It felt like we had that chance to get some momentum going, right out the gate. Ronald Acuna getting on base immediately. Ended up being 1 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in this one. But looked like he stole second at first. And then the Diamondbacks challenged it. At first I was like, he's safe. Then it turns out he slid a little past the base. And then in so doing, he was off the base for half a second. At which point the Diamondback held the tag. And now, much as I hate it, that was the right call. But, there's only 5 caught stealing on the season for Ronald. Coming into this, he had See, I write my stuff down too weird. 23 stolen bases. Ends up he makes up. Spoiler alert, Ronald Acuna Jr. makes up and then some for that caught stealing there. And, just maybe slid a little too hard. We're running a little too fast, and the momentum took them a little too far. But hey, That's not the worst way, but it did feel like it stifled, whatever, any sort of like early momentum we were going to get in this one. But even then, we almost came back there in the ninth, man. I remember only down 3-2, top of the ninth inning. You had Travis d'Arnaud, and Sean Murphy was already on base. You had Travis d'Arnaud come up. He was a pinch hitter the designated hitter in this one. Ozuna getting the day off for this first game of the series. Ended up being 0 for 4, but man, it was really close to being different. Murphy already on base. Man, he hit a deep fly ball. It was a really good catch by the Diamondbacks center fielder. And if that ball goes just a few more feet, it's a home run, a 2-run shot. We have a lead. And yeah, we still got to stop them in the bottom of the ninth. But the Braves, spoiler alert, they end up winning the series. But they very well could have got the sweep if, d'Arnaud just put a little more into that one. Or even if dude just somehow didn't catch it, it wouldn't be that hard to believe. It wasn't like a easy catch by any stretch of the imagination. So things could have gone different because that would have at least tied the game. Whether or not, Murphy probably, if that ball drops, Murphy probably scores. If not that play, then a couple guys later, because they had the opportunity there, but not able to get it done. But the Diamondbacks ain't no slouch. Like they weren't. Nobody was really expecting much from them this year. That I don't remember hearing anything about the Diamondbacks. Not since Randy Johnson was pitching. Just kidding. It's not been that long. But, either way, like that. But they, with this win, they had a better, they were a game and a half better record than the Braves. Like they're leading the American League, the National League West, even after you're losing a couple games. So that just shows you something. The Braves coming out of this series with the best record in the National League, despite a mid-May, as the kids are saying. It was May was mid. No getting around it. It was a mid-May. But the Braves are still doing pretty damn good. So let's see. Let's talk about some better stuff. Game 1, not really much happening other than, Ronald's still overturned. Eddie Rosario. The first of, this is going to be a great series for Eddie Rosario. And that was his first multi-homer game of this season. He's been very up and down. It feels like, it feels like he's about to turn a corner. Like, especially, overall, what he's able to do in this series, I think, unlocks, hopefully, something in him. Kept it going Game 2, not as loud, but still finding a way to get home. Game 2, the Braves win the second one, 5-2. Apparently, they had a team meeting in between Games 1 and Games 2. And, of course, this kind of harkens back to last season about this time, the beginning of June. I think it was June 1st last year. And they had a meeting in Arizona. They're like, hey, y'all, we got to do better. Absol says, got to do better. There ain't nothing they can do that I can't do better. Better yet, I'm better. I love that song. It's my favorite song from last year. And guess what? I get to see Absol in 19 days. I guess a couple weeks, 3 weeks from this past Tuesday or Sunday. I'm excited about that. That was my one. Definitely, I would say what I would consider the best album of last year, and definitely my favorite song of last year. Right behind it would be a Crooked Tree by Molly Tuttle. I was about to say Molly Hatchet. I'm like, that's not right. That's not her name. That's a rock band from a long time ago. So yeah, Braves winning this one 5-2. And the story in this one was Ronald Acuna just crushing the ball. But that we're getting ahead of ourselves. Starting now, we got Spencer Strider on the mound in this one. Braves not wanting to let the Diamondbacks get a lead in this game at all. The great pitching performance for Spencer. Gets his 6th win on the season. He is 6-2, leading the league with 113 strikeouts. This one, he had 3 hits, 2 runs. He walked 4, which is a little concerning. But hey, he still got 7 strikeouts. And with for Spencer, that is all 12 of his starts this season. He's got 7 or more strikeouts. Hell of a start to the season. So you're having a good damn season when you get 7. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right, I guess. Decent. That's like the worst he does pretty much right now. So that's pretty damn good. We'll take it. And I feel like he'll even have a better one going forward. And one thing that he got in this game was run support. Started, the Braves kind of getting the offense going a little bit at a time. The third, the fourth, and the fifth scored one run each. The third, that was Austin Riley, sacrifice fly, knocking Acuna in. Acuna, of course, had 2 steals in this game. So he's getting one and then making up. No, that was tomorrow. No, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's the third game he got 2. He just had one. Just had one steal in this one. It was one of those times, too. You got to love Ronald. It seems like he's really good at noticing when no one's noticing. It's like, I don't know why you'd be sleeping when you got Ronald Acuna on the base pass, because he will. Not only is he fast, dude's smart. Got a good eye. You can see, like, hey, they don't expect me to steal right now. That makes this a perfect time to steal. So, criminals, you gotta know when to steal. Not that Acuna's a criminal, just on the base paths. Similar thing. You're gonna be a criminal. You gotta know when to steal. Don't just stealing when people are home and doing dumb shit. It's not good to steal either way unless you're on the base path. Or something like that. Watch what I say now, right? So, of course, Riley knocking in a run, Acuna there. Then in the fourth, Eddie Rosario coming home on a Marcell Ozuna single. And then Eddie Rosario himself next inning says, you know what? I think I want an RBI. And he singles to right. Knocks in Austin Riley. It's like everybody's getting in on the fun. And after having the 3-for-4 game with 2 homers the day before, we got Eddie Rosario 2 for 4 in this one. So 5-8 to start this series. A great series. This cannot talk about what a series this is for Eddie Rosario out there in the desert. A lot of people forget that's the NLCS MVP from 2021. I saw him hit, not the walk-off, not the one that sent the Dodgers home, but I saw him hit a walk-off against the Dodgers in that series in person. The standing room only spot up in the upper deck, which I'll tell y'all, I don't know if you're at Turner Field, I don't know if you've ever been to Truist Park. I hate the location of Truist Park. I hate how damn far away it is. And it's not actually the city of Atlanta, but damn it if it ain't a better park. It's a better baseball park than Turner Field. And that's because it was built for baseball, not the Olympics and then adapted afterwards. The first time I came to Atlanta in 1996, Turner Field was still Olympic Stadium. That's right, I got to see 2 games at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. I'm forever thankful to my parents for that. And the baseball gods, I guess. No, but so in saying that, I say the upper deck at Turner Field is terrifying. You feel, Truist, there's actually some walking around room and stuff too near the top. So either way, yeah, Eddie Rosario, he'll always have a special place in my heart. Due to that, a lot of fun to watch too. And then the Braves had a 3-0 lead. Spencer giving up his only homer in this one. Evan Longoria, which always throws me off because I'm like, man, how did the Braves figure out they're gonna have basically the same name as this famous actress, Eva Longoria? I always think of her. Beautiful. I guess I didn't see the picture of her. Wow, I would assume she's still fine. And so then of course we go now we're only 2-run lead. What are the Braves gonna do in the 6th inning? Michael Harris the second hit into his second double play of this one. Got to start hitting the ball out of the infield, but gets a run in, and I think he should get credit as an RBI. I noticed he did not, but I guess he got out, but still, man, he got somebody home. He hit it in the way they're able to get home, but I guess it was more of just a consequence of, it wasn't really all on him. It was more of just the runner had the opportunity. But hey, still good to see a run scoring because of Michael Harris II, at least sort of. So that means the bases are clear. Ronald Acuna Jr. comes up, and he hits the ball 464 feet for, of course, a home run. Like, he is on a tear. And this thing, too, is just like, he's not just hitting home runs. Like, when he hits, it feels like almost every one of his home runs is just like a monster. And I was watching the game too, and it was one of those like obvious, like sometimes you're not sure. That was one of those home runs, like the second it left the bat, you knew it was out of here. It just hit so hard, so fast. that is zoomed right out the park, right to the beer line. And he crushed that one, man. You got to love to see it. For the year, his 12th home run. The same game that he gets his 24th stolen base. So what a season he's had. Like I've been saying since spring training, MVP, MVP, MVP. Now I just got to go to a game and do the chant in person. Because I ain't been to a game yet this year, y'all. I've been lazy. It takes 2 hours to get up there. I don't have any dependable friends to go to a game with that can drive. Sorry if you're listening and you think you're a dependable friend. Either way, I'm going to make it up there soon. It's just probably on a Wednesday sometime soon. Probably not tomorrow because I'm tired. But maybe I'll change my mind when I wake up. But yeah, Braves, that's what we're talking about, right? Ronald Acuna, 464. I already said that, but 464. That's crazy. Like, he is just killing the ball. And then Sean Murphy, some other notes on this one. Of course, already talked about Spencer getting the win, number 6. Raisel Iglesias getting saved, number 6. He's been on a nice little stretch here after facing a little bit of struggles here and there. Especially, I think a lot of that was just the start to the season, starting injured like that. That can be a little bit difficult to come back from and get everything exactly right. But that makes, 2, get the third straight save there in a row after that rough, only got one out in Oakland. So good to see him get through a save, not getting anybody in on that one. Number 6 for him. And we knew he's a great save guy. It's just kind of been a slow start. That's what's going to happen, though. When you start the year on the injured list, it kind of puts your spring training back, throws it all off, the vibe, the rhythm, all that shit. And some other guys did okay. Talk about Eddie Rosario, 2 of 4 in this one, scored that run in the 4th inning. Sean Murphy, 3 of 5, so pretty good game for him as well. Ozuna was 2 of 3 in this one, driving in a run. Ozzy with the rare 0 for 3, but he walked 1, so still getting on base. Austin Riley, 0 of 4, but still gets the RBI on the sac fly and also scores. He had a fielder's choice at one point in the game. And Matt Olson, 0 for 3, struck out twice, but at least he walked twice, right? So, you kind of expect the strikeouts with him at this point. As long as he bounces out, he'll occasionally have one of those where he'll just crush the ball. And, that's why he's our best home run hitter. So, that's, one of those baseball things that just don't go away. Usually your leading home run guy, there's a decent chance he's your leading strikeout guy. But, hey, bounce back. We got our leading strikeout guy, Spencer Strider, on pace. I think he could have a historical season. And, it's his chance to really carry this team. Because you got Max Fried, Kyle Wright, both on the 60-day injured list. More on that about Max in a minute. So they're both out till at least mid-July. Probably more like the end of July. And Charlie's just been okay. But that's where Spencer Strider and Bryce Elder have just been phenomenal. Can't talk. Excuse me. But, you got Spencer leading the National League, leading the Major League Baseball in strikeouts. Obviously leading the National League, beating everybody in strikeouts. He's got, like 13 more than the next guy. And then Bryce Elder has the best ERA in baseball right now. And that's an even bigger pleasant surprise. Because Spencer showed us that last year. He would have been Rookie of the Year if it wasn't for his teammate, Michael Harris II. Right? And then, Bryce Elder, he had a couple all right games last year. He also had a couple terrible ones. Start of the season in Gwinnett. Dylan Dodd and Jared Schuster getting chosen over him. Schuster, last time I checked, still with the team. Dodd, of course, down in AAA. Bryce Elder, though, came up and he came back down. He will be starting today, so we'll talk more about him in a minute. For now, let's move on to Game 3. The rubber match, as they call it. Both teams have won a game in this series. And it's been a rough road trip for the Braves. I'm trying to remember what I wrote down. Yeah, Not, we got beat 2-3 by the Athletics, who were terrible. Terrible. I know they're still a Major League Baseball team, but damn it, barely. Like they'd be threatened with relegation. That's why they're moving to where their AAA team is. Vegas is actually the A's AAA team, and this is a team that the players aren't losing on purpose, but ownership is. Like he's doing what he can to make sure they lose, just like the movie Major League. But the Braves getting the win in this one, 8-5. So they win this series. So it kind of salvages this road trip. Because otherwise, even though, losing 2 games in Arizona wouldn't be as bad as losing 2 games in Oakland due to the fact that the Diamondbacks are, record-wise, way better team. They're leading their division. They have one of the best 2 records in, 2 or 3 records in National League right now. So they ain't no slouch. The Athletics have the worst record in baseball, and it's not even close. Like playing terrible baseball. So good to see the Braves kind of correct a little bit. Maybe this is a result of the meeting, maybe not. Couldn't have hurt. Like Snicker seems to really have a good feel for his team, and I think all those years in the minor leagues where you just play with whoever gets sent to you for the most part, I think made him an even better manager than he would have been otherwise. That was what makes him one of the best in the game right now, in my opinion. Just because he adjusts on the fly. He kind of has a feel for his guys. He knows when they need it talking to. Doesn't seem to be the type that wants to overdo it. But it paid off. We won the 2 games after. It seemed like the offense woke up. We scored 5 runs in one, 8 runs in the second one. And, man, this was a fun game. I got to watch kind of the last few innings of this. I got off work at like 5. And the game started at 4, so I got to watch the last few innings of this one. And boy, was it an exciting one. Eddie Rosario, finishes an amazing series. This series ended up being 6-13 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. What a series, man. And not only, talk about 3 home runs. Yeah, those 2 solo shots were kind of cool. But there wasn't nothing else around it. But how about coming up in the top of the 9th inning with 2 dudes down, 1 out away from an Arizona Diamondbacks series win. Score was 5-4. I'm like, man, at least get a single. But man, every time my team comes up with bases loaded, I'm thinking grand slam. And I say it enough eventually. I got to be right occasionally. This time I was. It happened. And I was like, I remember as he hit, I was like, oh, he's calling. I was like, man, grand slam would be great. But I'd be okay with a single, because then at least you tie it. Because they'd intentionally walked, to load the bases up. Of course, we had, it was like Acuna, got the stolen base. And Eddie, man, just mashing the damn ball. And, it wasn't a walk-off because it was on the road. But, got Rosario Iglesias. Goes out there and gets save number 7. Getting her done. But yeah, what a great way for the Braves to do it. It started out. Let's go over what happened in the 9th inning. So you got Michael Harris the second. He walks. Good eye, kid. Way to get on there. Not going to show up on a box score, but hey, it doesn't add negative to your average. Then Ronald Acuna Jr. gets a single and steals second. That was his second steal of this game. That's right. Ronald Acuna ended up with 2 steals in this one. It brings his total on the season to 26 stolen bases to go with his 12 home runs. That's crazy. You gotta love it though. And then of course, Matt Olson did a Matt Olson thing and he struck out. And you got guys on second and third. You don't want to face Austin Riley. You walk him intentionally. That loads up the bases. Travis d'Arnaud lines out. Looking like it's about to be over. Down to our last out in the 9th inning. Eddie Rosario just crushes it. Out the damn park. Barely though. So, he crushed it, but not hard enough to be. It wasn't no doubt. It wasn't like a 460 crush. But it was just enough of a crush to light a spark. And then, they changed, got a different pitcher in. Got Ozzy, and no, there was only 1 out. I don't know why I said 2 outs. My bad. I lied to you. We weren't down to our last out. I swore I read that somewhere. I guess I was thinking about our pitching. We'll talk about our pitching for this game in a minute. We're starting backwards with Game 3 with we're starting out in the 9th inning. Eddie Rosario winning it with a grand slam, and I think hopefully we've said it before. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come, and then figuring some stuff out. I feel like it is, because if not, they'll probably be thinking about what they're going to do with that left field spot because. Eddie's good, but he's not like an everyday starter. Like as of now, he needs to hit it better. Did this series, so maybe we'll see some more of that. But that was his only hit in this game. So it was only 1 of 5. I wrote down 2 outs. I don't know what. No, it was an out. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm like questioning myself again. When you read things wrong, that's the thing that happens when you kind of improvise too much, right? So my bad. I was right the first time. There was with 2 outs. Murphy popped out to end the inning, and then Iglesias, like we said, gets save number 7. Just walked a guy, but then got a double play to erase him. And, of course, in this one, we'll talk real quick about Soroka and get back to the good stuff. Michael Soroka, another kind of struggle start, trying to make that Major League comeback after over 2 years between Major League Baseball starts. Couldn't get out of the 4th inning in this one, 3 2/3 inning. 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. Gave up 2 home runs. And it's nice to see that at least he's looking healthy. And you can see a lot of it's there. Like, he looked good a lot of times in this matchup. But then it'd be like he gets 2 outs, and he can't finish guys. Can't get guys out. Just walking too many dudes. So he's going down to AAA after this one, which is kind of like disheartening. But I think with all he's been through, he can deal with that. And I think he'll be back. Like, I don't think this, I know they would have preferred him to be ready to come up to stay when they did bring him up. I think with everything going on in the rotation, they understandably thought it would, go ahead and give it a shot. And, some would say maybe they brought him up too early. But that's only, I feel like, if he's, like, weaker. I feel like everything, like I said, that Soroka's been through, I think he's strong enough mentally where it's not going to kill him. Like, he knows that there were some good things. Like, he can take those good things, and then he can go down to Gwinnett, maybe for a month or 2, maybe less, maybe more. And I believe we'll see him probably even before Max Fried comes up. Before, by the end of next month, I would not be surprised at all if Michael Soroka is back with the team. So that's kind of the good thing about, you could say it's too early, and maybe they should have waited. But also it's kind of good because it gives you a chance to go up, against major league hitters. And then you have time to kind of go back down and work on some stuff. Get a little extra seasoning, as I like to say. Go down there and make, work, like I said, less of a spotlight, less pressure. And then get a couple things, you know what you need to work on. That's what the minor leagues are for. It's not necessarily about winning. And the winning's great. But for the minor leagues, you're trying to, work on shit. Trying to improve. And so now that he's gone up against major league batters again, he can go back and be like, okay, I know what I need to work on. And he could really focus on that because he's definitely, good to see that he's healthy. And he looked good at a lot of times in these games. But just struggle, man. Both of his home runs, all the runs he gives up in this game are with 2 outs. So you got to get better at putting dudes away. And that's part of it. Some of that takes time. Getting back to that level. I mean, it's been almost 3 years since dude pitched in the major leagues before this stint. So I think he could take some good things from it and, learn from those. So learn from the bad, learn from the good, and come back even better. Got to do better. That's the thing. And, of course, what else? So back to Gwinnett. The bullpen kind of carrying us here. We did have A.J. Smith-Shawver making his major league debut. This kid started the season in Rome, like the Braves single A team. Only had a couple starts where he was the youngest pitcher in AAA. Now he's in the majors, and it looks like allegedly he could get a start. So more on that in a second. But in this game, he had 2.1 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, only 1 bases on balls.